senior headline on The Daily Show. You see them all over YouTube. I want you to put your hands together. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Give it up for Josh Johnson.
I've been in Honolulu for a week, and I have been dressed like this the whole time. In case you were wondering, yeah, this is what I wear all the time. There were people who, recognized me on the street, said, hey, and then there were people who didn't recognize me at all and said, hey, are you all right? Like, something going on? Aren't you hot? And, yeah. But it's been beautiful. It's been amazing to just walk around, see everything, meet people. Y'all are very chill. Like, I know it's a stereotype, but it's also happening, and it is just coming from someone who lives in New York. It is genuinely jarring. It's like, this is wild. Do y'all even know this? Everybody's so chill, which I understand. It's a beautiful place. This is an incredible place. It truly is. You're still on planet Earth, though. So, like, do you know what I mean? Like, a little disrespectful to not be freaking out a touch more. Yeah, I mean, it's charming, but only to a point. It's genuine. Y'all live, even here is so beautiful, but also this is dangerous too. Y'all don't seem bothered at all. This is active volcanoes. There are active volcanoes, actors, the ones that do it, the ones that volcane are here. And y'all are like, do you want to go see it? Because it might do it. Wouldn't that be crazy if it did it while we were there and then we saw it do it? Yeah, it would be crazy. It would be insane. No, I think I'm good. I think I'm good watching from the comfort of my TV. It's like, no, you gotta go to witness. It's like, you don't have to be a witness to everything. Sometimes you could just hear a story and it's fine. Active volcanoes. No one's bothered. No one, wow. I've been places where nothing was gonna happen and they were freaking out more. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have friends in San Francisco. And those friends in San Francisco are like, any day now, we could slip into the ocean. We could just break off. We just snap like a Twix. We could just... All right, I mean, if you really thought that, why are you paying a mortgage? That's a little wild, right? That you think you're gonna slip into the ocean, but also, you gotta do something. No, it blows my mind. Oh, it's been so cool to be here. I had no idea what it would be like to see this many roosters roam free. You're gonna have to be patient with me, all right? Because I didn't know. There's a lot I didn't know. This trip has been teaching me a lot I didn't know. I didn't know most things. So I get here and I see a rooster, but I'm like, oh, he probably got loose. Like, I hope somebody find their rooster. I'm like, oh, because I hate to see, you know what I mean? Like, I hate to see like a lost pet or animal companion just out in the wild like that. And it was walking on pavement like it owned it. And And then I heard like a rooster, and it wasn't. I really thought, this is how you know I grew up on cartoons. I really thought they only made noise like in the morning. I was positive that was like the nature's alarm clock. I didn't know they were like dogs and they could just go whenever they wanted. So now I'm waking up and like, I'm not saying I hear a rooster every time I wake up. I'm just saying like I wake up and because of the jet lag, I live in New York. So because of the jet lag, I'm waking up earlier, just naturally than I would otherwise. And so I'm waking up and then you might hear a rooster at the time that I wake up because it's very early. Like the sun is not out yet, right? And then the sun is out. And then I'm walking around and I hear a rooster again and I'm like, that can't be right. I'm positive that's not right because I know it's been all day today. And far be it from me, like whenever an animal is very good at something, I try to just trust that. Like I understand the groundhog thing, we kind of made that up, that's not exactly right, but I still check to see what the groundhog said, right? Because people used to go off of it. Now with the roosters seem completely unreliable. I understand this is the rooster's whole thing, but I will go ahead and start looking for myself. And the way that y'all just don't even acknowledge them, I felt like I was on drugs. I was looking around at the roosters and I was like, all right, so nobody gonna come get. You try to call animal control of the roosters and they hang up. This is very upsetting. Why would you? I didn't know roosters were like rabbits. Like maybe if you just let two roosters hang out for too long, you get 8 roosters and then 16 and then 64. And then no matter where you go, there's a rooster doing, I guess, nothing. I don't know what they do. 5 o'clock, I heard a rooster, and I was like, oh, poor baby. He gotta be blind. That's what I said. No, don't do that. That's him guessing. He guessing right now. And then I realized I was completely off base. They don't just stop making noise because of the time of day. Wow. You learn something every day you should already know. That's deeply embarrassing. It's been beautiful. It's so beautiful, and everybody is so like laid back. Not every single person, but like as a general state is laid back. The people who I see freaking out, the people who I really see freak out are not from here. You know what I mean? Like the people. There are a lot of people. Like you could tell. You could tell who's like from here and not from here also by how there's a look. There's a look in the eyes of a person who like when somebody just got here, they seem like they could be from here because they're so excited to be here. When somebody just got here, they're like, oh wow. And once again, just outside looking in, y'all do that too. Like y'all do have just the locals I've met have been like, man, what a day. And then the last day hits. It's time to go home, and you can tell it's a different look on their face. Their eyes different because they finally got the bill from whatever. Same mannerisms too, just like. but it's been beautiful to just walk around and see so many people that know how to swim. That is. Swimming. Okay, swimming for me has been trial and error. It's been a trial of errors. And it's like whenever people are like, people don't want to believe that I don't fully believe that I can swim. I'll talk to people and they'll be like, yeah, but you could like swim to save your life though, right? And I'm like, I don't want to find out. I feel like that's one of the main reasons I stay on land is because I'm not sure. What a test. What a test. What a test to fail. And then now you know. Now I know. Now I know I can't swim. That's a crazy thing. But you could swim to save your life, right? Isn't that swimming? Isn't that the whole swimming? Whether you're swimming for fun or you're swimming to save your life, aren't you still the same amount of upright over the water? That's a crazy thing to ask somebody. Imagine somebody's on crutches. Someone's on crutches and you're like, yeah, but you can like run to save your life, right? It's like, maybe. Why would I want to find that out though? Why would I put myself in a running situation? Why would I on crutches walk up and slap a bigger man than me? Just to see if maybe, who knows? It might be like having 3 legs, having these crutches and being on 1 foot. And then you see people surfing. I love watching people surf at home. When I'm at home, I'll watch any surf documentary. I love surfers. I think it's so cool. I love watching them do tricks. I love watching it. You could just be regular swim. One of the things I've had in the background before is just like a beachy waves, like looping video for hours, and it was people just like, whether they were swimming or surfing, they were all just around each other in the water. I personally, this is just a me thing, this is not a reflection on anybody else, I cannot watch it, I can't, if I'm at the beach and I'm watching people surf, I'm like, how are they not running over every head they come across? Like when you're watching on TV and the camera is just on them, you're like, look at how coordinated they are. They're so cool. Look at them move. Man, I wish my hips moved like that. But then when you're watching and you're like, well, there's somebody's head. Oh, they missed. Okay. I watched my friends. One time I went to a beach with my friends. My friends went swimming and they came back and they were like, you sure you don't want to get in? And I was like, you keep asking me if I could swim to save my life, but then also ask me if I want to get in. I think I'm good. I'm good on the beach right here where it's level, where if I drown, it's my fault. But you're over there having a great time swimming. Yay, backstroke, everything. You didn't even see. There was a dude surfing around. You almost died 3 times. I saw it. He almost ran you right over. I don't even know how that would work. It doesn't even, like, here's the thing. I don't know how surfing works. You're about to find that out. But, it doesn't even seem that bad if you got, ran over by a surfboard in the water that was past you until you get to those 3 teeth in the back. That seems like it would hurt. Because I'm not saying the board's going to hit them in the head. I'm just saying they're, coming up the same time as somebody's passing, and everyone is so fluid with it. That's stressful. I know it's a gorgeous dance, but I'm watching this dude, just one twist of his ankle, he could have taken out 2 people right there. So you see the big waves that people surf on, right? Those huge waves that people surf on, and then they're coming down from the wave. I don't know why. Maybe I was never paying attention in the movies or in the competitions I'd watch on TV, but there's people in there. That's crazy. Why isn't that a sport? That seems like it should be a sport to get in the middle of the wave and not drown. You'll see these big waves, and then there's people surfing the wave, and then there's just a guy in the middle Did he even mean to get in? That's too much going with the flow. I'm already worried about flat water. If I got caught in a wave, I can't even fathom. If I got caught in a wave and started shooting up, I already can't swim. I can't also drown up. Imagine 10-foot wave, you inside. Which way do you swim when you're up? If you're in the wave, if you're here, where are you supposed to go? You're not even caught in like an undertow getting sucked down. You are about to shoot up in the air. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how it works. Ooh, I'd be so embarrassed if I drown up. I don't even know if they let you into heaven, because you would be explaining like, listen, I was in the water, all right? But then there was really sick wave. There was a guy on it, crushing it. But I was in the middle, and I was real high up in the air. I could actually see that I was like above land. But there was too much water in front of my face for me to take a breath. Maybe, if I had been snorkeling, I would have had that stick, and I could have leaned out and sucked some air. But alas, I was regular swimming. You can tell I'm not from here because I'll go to the beach and I'm not having a beachy time like everybody else. I go to the beach, I don't get in the water. That already probably looks suspicious. That looks like I'm just there to watch, which is, people watching at the beach is like sweet unless you're doing nothing. If you also went to swim and now you're like, look at everybody having a good time, you know what I mean? Or if you were like building a sandcastle and then you're like, look at everybody, oh, it's so beautiful and everything. Or if you were surfing and then you take a break, look at everybody. But when you're me and you just went to go, and you just standing on the beach dressed like this, I'm sure I look like a ghost from something. I'm sure. I probably look like the ghost to somebody out there surfing of like a hit and run they did or something. Just because I don't know anybody out there, so it's not like I'm waving. I'm just. No. I go to the beach exactly dressed like this and it makes everybody uncomfortable. I'm sure they think I'm the police. I'm positive. This one time I went to the beach and I was just walking. I was truly minding my own business. I even stepped out of my comfort zone. I even took the shoes and socks off. I know you thought that I was doing that already, and I was not. No, when I say dress like this, I mean fully. I mean like head to toe like this. And so I had taken my shoes and my socks off. I was walking, feeling the sand under my feet. I was like, man, I get what people are, wow. This is nice. This is as nice as they say. This is beautiful. It's all happening, right? And then as I take a step, all right, this wasn't my fault. This was not. You gonna judge me? And that's fine. I've accepted I'm gonna be judged, but this was not my fault. Okay, I'm walking, right? And then I feel something. Okay? I feel something. And it's not like glass. I didn't cut my foot. That would have been better. I was walking and I feel something. I take a step and I feel something and I realize I can't take another step. I feel it around my ankle and I can't take another step. And somebody had buried themselves in the sand and then grabbed my ankle, right? And grabbed my ankle, right? And so grabbed it good too. This is crazy. This is the most Mad Max thing I've ever seen in my life. already buried in the sand, but then grabbed my ankle and I turn around and I see a hand and nothing else. And so I'm like, ha, ha, ha! I scream, right? I scream, okay? And so I'm walking, grab my ankle, I stop, I look, I scream. All of this very reasonable so far, right? All of this is on the other person. Okay, so then I try to pull away. I can't because no quad strength, I don't know. But like I can't pull away like I want to. And so then as I try to pull away, I try to pull away twice, and this is still out of panic. I still don't even know what's happening really. I just know that there's a hand around my ankle and there's nothing else, right? And then I finally turn around and see the hand and keep screaming. So I have screamed for too long now, right? Like I should have processed what was happening. So then out of fear, I start stomping the hand off my other foot, right? So it's right here and I'm right? So I stomp a while. Now, to be fair to me, they did hold on, all right? So then I'm stomping. Then they sit up, right? They did sit up, which should have clued me into exactly what was happening, but in the moment only did terrify me more. So then I went from stomping the hand and I did kick them in the head, okay? I did kick him in the head, and then I ran, right? And I ran, and while I was running, it was when I was processing, like, oh, okay, probably not a zombie. A zombie's hand wouldn't have had more body attached to it. A zombie probably wouldn't have sat up and been a whole person that I kicked. Also wild to do to a stranger. If it had been my friend, they still would have got their hand stomped, right? That was anybody. But then when they sat up and I was like, more? Oh. So I like the beach. I like it for all of you. I like the beach for everyone who likes going to the beach. And I'll go to the beach and I'll watch you have fun, but that's where it ends for me. Never taking my shoes off again at the beach. Yeah, people are like, but you'll get sand in your shoes. Yeah. Or I could take them off and get hands on my feet. What would you rather? If someone truly came to you and they were like, listen, you could have one random claw on your ankle and foot, or you could have some sand in your shoe, I think you take the sand every time. No. Oof. Mm-mm. You know, I got friends that love to swim, and I'm happy for them. You know? I'm very happy for it. It looks fun when they do it. Sometimes I'll go snorkeling. That's when you almost drown, kind of. I don't even fully understand snorkeling because you got the tube. But you're not sucking any air. It's not scuba diving. You got the tube, but then what's the tube for? Because you're just gonna exhale. You could have just done that through your mouth. I don't know how to do it. I'm sure I'm wrong. I'm positive I'm wrong, but I'm saying when I saw it, when they went under, I was like, you don't need that around your mouth. I hope you don't suck in, because that's gonna be water. That's wild that maybe you don't want any bubbles in your face? Is that why you brought the thing down to up the side? Are you trying to convince the fish you're a fish? Is that the plan? No, if they see me breathing out of my mouth all human-like, they'll swim away. I want them to like me. I got friends that'll go scuba dive. Scuba diving looks very fun. That's when you try to drown. That's when you're like, That's where you're like, I bet I can get lower. I bet I can get so low that even the water pressure is kind of affecting me. I didn't even know this. People who go that deep scuba dive, like people who do the real deep stuff that look like it's from Mission Impossible. You know that stuff that's like an action movie where they're like, you're gonna have to go deeper than anyone's gone before to see this particular fish. And they go down that deep and then they come up, then they gotta get in like a tank so that they don't explode. I don't know how some people create a definition of fun. I've never been almost about to explode ever. And I've had a pretty great life. The idea you would go down so deep that now you had a tank. Tank was on you. Then you went down. Now you come back up and they're like, you need to get in a tank immediately. Which I believe these people are experts, but in my head I'm like, but if they came up, aren't they good? Like you would think, I don't know, it's like you're already up here. So just don't take a deep breath, I guess. Just do some little ones. But then they gotta get in a tank so that they level out, so that they can walk around again in not the ocean. Scuba diving just seems wild to me. Because then you got the tank, and then they tell you how much air is in the tank, and you just gotta believe them. Nobody's ever been wrong. A tank's never been, because they'll be like, no, it's also on the tank. And I'm like, yeah, but like, you ever in a car and it says it's not on E, but then it does stop. And you're like, oh, this needle isn't as precise as I thought it was. Which is upsetting for a needle. You would think as soon as it hits, because some people, I've been in some people's cars, especially those old cars too, where like the needle hitting the E, I would even say it. I'd be like driving with my dad, right? My dad would be picking me up from school or something, and I'd be like, oh, it's on E, just so you know. And he's like, no, we good. And I would say, Father, I know I'm 7, but from what I've heard, I know I'm not a driver. I'm not a driver. From what I've heard, E means empty. It looks like we're very close to empty and we're not already at home. No, we're good. It's gotta go past the needle to really be out. Just because it's touching the E doesn't mean we're at E. It gotta go past the E, and then that's E. And I'm like, oh, then why didn't they put the E there? Seems odd that they put the E nowhere near where the E is. It's like, that's just the way cars made, son. I was like, Dad, look. I know I'm little, but I can handle it. You can tell me right now if we're poor, all right? That logic doesn't make sense at all. No, it's on E, but it's like not on E. I'm like, what are you saving up for? Because, you see people, I'm sure, y'all see people all over, Midwest, Northeast, the South, the western parts of the country, all these people. Freaking out. Freaking out. And not without reason. You saw leading up to the election, eggs are $12? We had no idea. For everything that we complain about, things are like twice as expensive for y'all. How are y'all not complaining every day? I can't believe that doesn't make you angry to see someone from Indianapolis be like, the apple juice was $6 before and it's $8 today. That doesn't seem fair or right. Meanwhile, here it's $22. And not only is it $22, there's one jug. Like it's, even when you got the money, you gotta make sure you get there first. And still, how? And still, y'all are like, you know. With enough time, with enough patience, with enough elbow grease, you'll make your own apple juice. You just gotta... No, sometimes when I'm upset, sometimes when life is getting me down, you know, something really grinds my gears, I just try to take it out and try to exercise it in a productive way, you know what I mean? So whenever I'm really angry, I'll get something, I'll just like grind something down, right? And just grind it down over and over again. And then I started to do that with the apples, and then I made apple juice, and now I'm fine. What? No, it's wild. It's wild. Yeah, this is wow. I know I'm still on planet Earth, but whoa. You know what I mean? It does feel like, and I'm really not saying this in a way that is just trying to like butter you up or anything, but this does feel like a different dimension, because the 7-Eleven is like nice. You need to understand. Like, even though you're clapping and you're cheering, I don't even think you understand what you're clapping and cheering for. The 7-Eleven being nice. The 7-Eleven being nice is like... it's like if you turned the AR-15 into bubbles. It's like, what? First of all, how? And second, this is not what this is supposed to do. This is just 7-Eleven. I can tell you right now, in every other part of America, the back of 7-Eleven specifically is for drug use. And look, maybe that's happening here and everybody just has a real good attitude about it. I have no idea. But the 7-Eleven in New York, okay, so look, the 7-Eleven in New York, there was what, this is just an example of how bad it can get, right? There are some places where people who are in any way sort of down on their luck, truly unfortunate, truly having like a rough go of everything, will try to find some way. They need some money. They need something, right? And so they will hang out outside of 7-Eleven. And one of the things that some people do, especially in New York, is they will hold the door open for you when you go in. They'll open the door for you when you walk out, right? All in the hope that maybe if you have spare change or if you could get them something, that you will give them something for that thing. Let me try to do you this small service in return for something, right? Because they don't have anything, you know? And that's something that's like common practice in New York at plenty of places. And the 7-Eleven that I went into in New York, I saw a guy, he was standing in front of the door. He had his hand on the door handle. And I like nodded at him. I was like, hey, how's it going? And then I went to walk into the 7-Eleven and I hit the door. I hit the door because this man wasn't opening it for people. He was charging people to get in. Which is frankly a better business model. That is pretty good. No. You go into a 7-Eleven. You go into a 7-Eleven in New York City. Let's say they just mopped. Let's say the best of circumstances, they just mopped, right? There's a wet floor sign, but what's that gonna do? What's that really gonna do? They just put those out so they don't get sued. What is that really meant to do? It's a wet floor sign over there. I walked in, it's wet right here. And if you fall, if you slip in a 7-Eleven, if you slip in a 7-Eleven in New York City, you have to burn whatever part of you fell. Because I know they mopped, but they didn't mop to clean it. They mopped to move around whatever was the reason for mopping in the first place. So if you walk in and you see that wet floor sign all the way over there, and you don't know that means the entire floor, everything in here is wet now, and you walk, whoa, and then you slip, and then you fall on your back, you will want to die. Walk into a 7-Eleven here. People smile. I know this is common for you. I know that you don't understand what the difference is. I want you to imagine, goodness forbid, but let's imagine that you went to jail. And when you got there, everybody smiled. Based on your understanding of jail, that would make you more comfortable. Based on what you think about jail, if you walked in and everybody smiled at you specifically, you would think, uh-oh. And so forgive me if being conditioned by New York City 7-Elevens, walk into a 7-Eleven here and seeing people smile, I don't return it right away. I'm shocked, I'm suspicious. If you walk into a 7-Eleven in New York and everyone is smiling at you, that 7-Eleven is being robbed right now. These are not sincere smiles. These are the smiles of people who don't want to be shot. This is smiles. You walk into a 7-Eleven in New York and they're smiling at you, you run. You run, because there's not, oh, well, it's a, no, people smile at you at 7-Eleven and they aren't even saying anything through their teeth. It's a genuine smile, it's a silent. And they say welcome, and say hello. A smile at a 7-Eleven in New York. Call somebody. It's one with a gun. But I think the other two in on it. Hurry. Not just a nice 7-Eleven with nice people. You got different stuff, which is unfair. You got whole flavors. You got whole flavors I can't pronounce. You go into a 7-Eleven here, and you gotta understand, I've only been to the 7-Elevens I've been to, so. Sorry that I'm uncultured. Everything at the 7-Eleven I'm used to is not like this. You get in there and you get the what is this? Hoapia? Hopia. We go to a 7-Eleven and you get a Hopia Slurpee. I saw the letters. And I was like, Haw. I didn't even say it right just now. Get the Leehing. These are flavors I'm not used to. I didn't know these flavors had come out. I'm used to going to 7-Eleven and getting some of the most dystopian Mountain Dew type flavors you've ever heard in your life. Just a color to a thing that doesn't exist the way that it says in the flavor. You go to 7-Eleven in New York, you get like a, I don't know, black elephant Slurpee or something like that. Just something that just sound wrong. Whole time you pulling it, the machine doesn't even want to let it out right away. You pull that thing and the machine is like, And then after a while, you hold it open long enough and the thing is spinning. Finally, the machine is like, if you insist. And when it hit the cup, it doesn't sound right. When they hit the cup, you're like, something hard inside, something soft. I know sounds. This is not all liquid. Not even all ice. Something, then y'all can put 3 rocks and 4 paper clips in here. I can tell from the way it's falling, because it falls with no integrity. It falls with no real consistency at all. How? McDonald's is good here. How'd you pull that off? Same company. This is the same, it's one company. That's crazy. That's crazy they would bring all the good McDonald's here and they would make us eat slop everywhere else. McDonald's in New York City is where you do heroin. I don't mean the back like a 7-Eleven. I mean in the restaurant portion of the McDonald's. I mean you order your Big Mac and then you sit down at your table to do your heroin. The Big Mac is just a formality. It was crazy. I was in New York. I was going to a McDonald's, not by choice. My girlfriend wanted to go to McDonald's, and so we went into a McDonald's, and all she ordered was an ice cream cone, one ice cream cone, one cone with ice cream on it. You would think that there's no way the devil could get involved. It's one ice cream cone. It's ice cream. It's ice cream with a cone. It's simple. We've seen it a million times. It's not revolutionary. And they handed her ice cream with a cone. And before she could even take a bite, she felt something. And she turned the cone, and there was a Band-Aid. Unless we're having a nightmare, how? Do you just have them in the back ready to go? In case anybody thought they were gonna enjoy McDonald's in New York City? This is crazy. I just wanna let y'all know the planet y'all live on. Cause nothing seems to get to y'all. Not like fundamentally, not like real. I'm stressed out for y'all sometimes. I don't even live here. But I remember 2017. I remember in 2017 when that fake missile thing. I remember. How is this still a place? How is it? If that had happened in New York City, real estate prices would have dropped because we'd all be dead. Everyone would have. That's crazy. Imagine what was even said in those moments. You get that text, you finally turn to your spouse and you're like, it really hadn't been right between us for a long time. And I want to get that out there because I don't want to die with anything on my heart. And then 15 minutes later, you sitting there, look, everybody said stuff. Everybody said something that they meant but didn't mean if we were gonna live. How? Wow. I can't imagine getting that message at work. You at work. You might not even like it here. You at work, and then you get the false alarm. You get the, hey, no, you're actually good. Hey, somebody pressed the wrong button. That blows that's how I can tell y'all are actually really good people. The fact that thing happened and so many bosses went unpunched. Y'all thought you were gonna die. And nobody punched their boss right in the nose. Nobody. This is it. This is it. Because the other message didn't go out right away. People thought they were gonna die for like 8 minutes or something. And that's if you looked again. That's like if you checked. You know, some people reacted the way I would react. There were some people that like found, manhole cover, jumped in, everything. All right, okay, yeah, you jumped in. There's some sewage. It's stinky, but you would have lived. You would have, you know what I mean? You would have lived. Then there's other people that, wow. I'm not judging, but truly no initiative. Like truly, I heard stories from people that were like, yeah, it went off, and I just finished my TV dinner, and. You just kept eating the TV dinner that you weren't enjoying. They were like, yeah, I'd rather die full. And then the fact that like there wasn't like a riot. The fact that there wasn't a riot over the person who pressed the message went out, hey, sorry, we pressed the wrong button. And then as a state, y'all were like, stuff happens. It's not like that big a deal. I don't know why everybody's stressing out. Yeah, buttons are confusing. Sometimes I press the wrong button. It's not that big of a deal. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I just have to call a divorce lawyer and he's gonna hold everybody to what they said while That's just not me. That's not me at all. I was in an elevator for too long one time. I told a stranger, I was like, listen, I want you to call this number. This is my mama, all right? In case I don't make it out, I want you to... We were stuck between floors 1 and 2. Who knows though, that drop could have shook me up. No, but I'm amazed. I think, man, I look around and I'm just blown away, It's there's something very special about being here, which is a reminder that obviously there's more of a commercial presence than there was probably 10 years ago, especially more than there was 30 years ago and everything. But really, when you get here, everything that is so beautiful about being here just requires nothing. It just requires you to be present. There's no, when you look around, there's no amount of money that makes this thing happen. This is just what we've already been given, And especially when you see it in people who appreciate it, it's a reminder that money can buy a comfortable life. It can't buy a good one. I look around. I look around and I try to watch as best as I can and try to be observant. So I know that there's problems and there's people who are struggling and everything, but everything that makes this place special, everything that makes the people special, everything that makes the experiences here unique are things that cannot be bought under any circumstance. You could pay for a nice room somewhere. You could pay for a private cabana. You could do all that stuff. But the actual sunset, the actual sunrise, the people that you meet if you go out and you talk to people, the sort of way of thinking that entire lifestyle, it costs nothing. It only requires that you be here, that you be present for it, Every beautiful thing, every unconventional thing, it's there's nothing you can take away from it. No matter how much money you acquire, there's nothing that can prepare you for the natural beauty, not just of a place, but of a people and all the things that surprise you when you're really present somewhere, Like the fact that the rooster's just gonna go whenever. It's that's insane. That's insane, because I think people come here and they think that it works the way it works in other places. There are places you can go all over the U.S. There are places you can go all over the world where that place is as good to be in as the amount of money you have. You can travel all around the world and I can show you a terrible time in a city. I can show you a great time in the city based on what you can afford, right? And then you come here and it's already here. That blows my mind, That's why I think so many people come here and so many people come here with a sort of expectation because maybe they've already spent the money. Maybe they've already dropped crazy money to have a true, beautiful Hawaiian experience. They're gonna have their minds blown. They're gonna see so many beautiful sights and everything. And then they get here and they see how much of it was just already here. It's just in the people. It's just in the routes you take to get somewhere. It's just in noticing, And then they leave, and that's why when they leave, they're like, oh, I could have done this oh no. What did I do?
Give it up for Josh Johnson!
I don't know if y'all saw this demure thing that's taken off. Why are y'all groaning? Oh my God. In case you don't know what it is, in case you haven't been alive for the past couple weeks, demure is this one TikTok started this whole thing. It's not like a whole group of people. It's not like somebody super famous already said something. There's this one TikTok by this creator named Jules LeBron that was just sort of getting ready for work and said,
look at how I'm dressed. Very demure, very mindful. And demure and mindful have like really taken off. They've really become this big, big thing. People are talking about how I'm demure, I'm mindful and everything. People have made all these responses. TikToks do it and stuff. But basically, she was just saying like, look at how I'm dressed, keeping it chill, a little bit low key and everything. And by and large, everything that I've seen that's come from it has been pretty positive. I know I'm not on the whole internet, but like everything that I've seen is nice, which is kind of cool because usually when it comes to like TikTok as a movement or like challenges or like anything popular, it's usually not as positive. Most TikTok challenges or trends are mostly like, hey, y'all, watch me punch my grandma on the back of the head. It's usually something that causes harm to, you or someone else for everyone's entertainment. And we watch all the time. It's like, hey, y'all, watch me while I call in this bomb threat to the Vatican. Like there was one thing, I don't even know, it got so bad that they would talk about TikTok trends happening that I don't even think were happening, but they were believable because all the stuff that really was happening. Like, I'm pretty sure there was one where maybe I'm falling for, like, a trick, but I'm pretty sure there was one TikTok trend where people just kept blowing up the urinals at the boys' bathrooms in their high schools. And I was like, man, maybe they really are lost as a generation. You know what I mean? So then you see something like Demure, and it really kills the whole... the sort of generational gaps that we have, it's hard to keep pushing them away when they're being all nice and stuff. You see these young Gen Alpha, Gen Z just being sweet. You almost don't know how to react. You know what I mean? It starts raining. Maybe you're a boomer, and then out of nowhere, this young person comes up being very demure. Pops an umbrella right over your rainy head. You just standing there like, Fox News did not prepare me for this. I don't know what to do. Thank you, I guess. This is weird. You sure you don't want to punch me in the back of the head and film it or something? Like, no, it's just nice to see like a trend that's at least like feeling mildly positive as it spreads, Because a lot of them start positive and then quickly turn. And I haven't seen this one turn yet, because the whole definition of demure is like modest, shy, mindfulness, obviously self-explanatory, being mindful and stuff. Because the other TikToks I've seen Jules make have also fascinated me because, she'll do little stuff. Like she brought donuts to the hotel staff that took care of her at the end of her stay. And she was like, this is being demure. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess we redefining it. I had no idea. I thought, that's cool. I'm saying because I'm happy about it, And I think that's really awesome. Because for a long time, I didn't know if like a good trend could catch on. We like deep down, whether you like it because you like it or you like it because you love to hate it, we like watching the bad stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like like Jackass would have never been a franchise if we didn't love the idea of a guy just standing there and then his friend running behind him and kicking him in the balls. Like that's, we had Jackass when we were little, and that just spawned into like a different now everybody can do Jackass. Everybody was doing Jackass the whole time, by the way. It's just when we filmed it, it sort of just sat at home. Like they just became home movies. There wasn't an internet to push it out to the rest of the world with, And so I don't know. I mean, I hope for those that enjoy it, it continues. I hope it doesn't, morph into a different thing, because I feel like the internet's very good at that. The internet's very good at like taking something, because it's so decentralized, like taking something that starts out very good and then morphing it to a place where, maybe 5 years from now, there's just a kid that runs up and punches his grandma in the back of the head and goes, "Demure!" Nah, but I hope it doesn't happen. I took an improv class when I lived in Chicago with a kid who was Buddhist, right? And he was Buddhist in a way that was very sincere. He wasn't like that. You know how sometimes when you go off to college or something and you meet someone who's like hardcore Buddhist, but they're like a white dude with dreads that's always trying to bang, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm like, no, I don't know if you following really. I think that you just wear the beads. I think you're disingenuous. You're just trying to use it to lower some walls, you know what I mean? How could I be bad? I summered into bed. You know what I mean? Kind of has those vibes. But my friend who I met is the person that truly fascinated me because he was someone who had a lot of joy and a sincere joy. Not like, you know how there are people that you meet sometimes that are full of joy, but you can tell the joy is because everything's going right now. It's very circumstantial joy, right? It's like lottery winning joy where it's like, guys, of course. He had a nice joy that wasn't swayed one way or the other by like little things happening, you know? Because the circumstantial joy I'm talking about, it gets knocked over with a feather, right? That same person that's so joyful one day, you see them the next day, they're like, get out of my way! Like it's... And that's also normal. That's part of being human, right? Like it's not normal to be happy all the time. If someone is, watch them. Do you know what I mean? Like if somebody's happy all the time, they need to be on a list. They're hiding something, right? But he had a very, very sweet and sincere joy that was calm, kind of quiet, a little bit to himself, but happy to talk to anybody, happy to engage with anybody and everything. And I think that because of who he was as a person, it sort of fascinated me what his philosophy was for life, because he didn't teach Buddhism, and he didn't think of Buddhism as a religion. He thought it more as a sort of philosophy, right? It was his answer to the psychology of his mind. And we were talking one day because I was just sort of asking him how he came to it and everything, because he was white. And regular haircut though, like regular haircut. Like, but you know, we were just chatting, and he was explaining, at least to the best of his understanding, the 4 noble truths to me, right? Because the first noble truth is that there is suffering in the world. And that's an undeniable thing, you know? We all suffer in different ways for different amounts of time, you know? Some suffering is physical. Like when you wake up in the night and you're thirsty. And you swear you know you're home. But you're walking in the dark because you don't want to wake yourself up too much with the light. And you don't sleep with shoes on. So your feet, your toes are at their most vulnerable. You get up and you're walking around, and in the kitchen, you get a little bit of that fridge light. You almost squint a little bit. That's too much. You grab your water, you pour it in your glass, take some sips, and now you got to make your way back. Halfway tired, in the dark, right? And as you're walking, maybe you're a parent. And maybe even though you know this home like the back of your hand, you don't know that there's a Lego waiting. There's a Lego waiting to be stepped on, right? There's a skateboard near some steps waiting to take you out. To put you on your ass, right? Or maybe you don't have kids. Maybe you're a bachelor. Maybe you're just living on your own as a single person, but you make your way back. And for some reason, tonight, there's just a little bit of extra width to that bed frame. And so you get close to the bed and you get ready to hop in, and then and so you suffer. know? But a lot of suffering isn't physical. A lot of suffering, genuinely is coming from a mental place. You either suffer in what you think is going to be the future, or you suffer over the past as it happened. Those things that happen that are very, very embarrassing. Maybe you hold on to a mistake that you made too tight. In your mind's eye, it's the only thing that you can focus on. And most of the time, you can shut it out. It's probably whatever you're thinking about right now. But most of the day, you're pretty good at shutting it out. But then you have a quiet moment, like in the shower. And while you're in the shower, your brain just goes, remember that time? You remember that time that everybody was like, wouldn't it be fun if we jumped in the pool, and then you just jumped in the pool, but then the other person was like, oh, I was never going to jump in the pool. So then you were just out here in the pool by yourself, and you can't swim. So then you were hoping that everybody jumping in would just mean that everyone floated a little bit higher or something. And so now you're like fighting to get to the top of the water, and then people, you can hear them be like, is he drowning? Like that. It was like a question, because you flailing so hard that everyone's like, is he drowning? And then you're like, what? These are supposed to be my friends. Why aren't they jumping in the water and help me? Do we not want to jump in the water so bad? We just want to talk about jumping in the water that no one's going to come save me right now. And so you're flailing, and then finally you just hear somebody at the party, one of your friends say, yo, stand up. And then you realize you were on the shallow end of the pool. So there's a suffering. And then, there's a suffering for the things that you think are going to happen in the future, right? Things that haven't even happened yet. Usually, it's us, because of our imagination. We're one of the only, look, this is us saying it, but as far as scientists know, we are one of the only species that has real imagination in that way. So we're some of the only things on planet Earth suffering in that particular way, right? Most things are living in the moment, right? But we're the only ones putting things onto the future that haven't even happened yet. Like, let's say you're in a relationship. And you love this person, but y'all fight from time to time. And you fight, but you love each other, and maybe it's been a long time. You've been together for a long time, so you know them. You know them deeply. You know them in a fundamental way where no one else knows them, right? So then sometimes when something happens, you can tell we're probably going to have a fight. We're probably going to have a fight because I know them, and I know what happened, and I know how they react to things. I know how I react to things, so we're probably going to have an argument, right? So then maybe you're driving home, maybe you're taking the train, maybe you're on the bus, but wherever you are, because you know there's about to be a fight, you decide to have the first fight. The first fight is in your head because you're practicing, right? Like, the first fight is you just sort of shadow boxing, right? You do it too. That's not my fault, right? Like, you just... And so the first fight, maybe things don't go so well. Maybe the first fight, because you have to imagine the whole thing, you imagine them reacting a little harsher than they might even react. Because you don't know, because you haven't been there yet. It's in the future. It hasn't happened. You have to make this thing up. But now you're suffering because you're imagining that they said something to you that was a bit too far. And they always do this. And I can't stand when you do this, right? You always, in my head, take things too far before I have the conversation with you, right? And so you get home and you already mad. You already pissed off because in your mind, you lost the first fight, right? So now when we have the first fight, I'm remembering the first fight. So now I got to get my get back from losing that first fight because they had such good logic in my head when I was fighting them before that I came ready. I'm already ready to plug up all the holes in my own argument, right? And so then, you start fighting, and then you start the fight by being like, why are you yelling? And then you realize you're yelling, and you're like, why am I yelling right now? And it's because you had a fight already. You had suffering you didn't even need to have. There was no reason, right? And then there's the second noble truth. The second noble truth is that there is a cause to the suffering. People, we don't just have to suffer endlessly for no reason, right? There is a cause. This is where the concept of karma comes from and everything. Because if you understand the suffering and you understand the cause, you can end it, right? It can be over, you know? Like I have a friend who I love very much. And he has a lot of love to give. But he keeps, because he can't understand the cause, he keeps getting his heart broken. Because he keeps... Okay. He keeps getting his heart broken because he keeps trying... It's got to sound however it sounds, but... He keeps trying to save young ladies who do not like him, but do enjoy dinner, right? Do you know what I mean? Like at a certain amount of dates, I'm like, yeah, dog, I think if she liked you, she would call you sometimes. Like you know, because he's a lover, but it's I don't know if he's thinking about why he keeps feeling this way. And if it keeps happening, if the same thing keeps happening with different people who don't know each other, maybe there's a cause. And maybe the cause is something you're doing. Maybe the suffering can end. Maybe. Or maybe he's just real good at paying for dinner. I have no idea. But it seems like when I talk to him, like, hey, it doesn't have to be like this, right? And then there's a third noble truth. Third noble truth is that you can end the suffering. It can't, it doesn't have to go forever, right? Like the second one is that there's a cause, and the third one is that there will be an end, right? It doesn't have to go on forever. You can release yourself out of this sort of cycle. And then the fourth one is that there's a path. There's a path for you, a way to end the suffering, right? Which I think is great. I think that there's an answer at the end. There's a lot of things, there's a lot of religions out there that just tell you, like, it's pretty bad. And it will get worse. You know? There are some Buddhist monks, right? There's some Buddhist monks in Thailand. And they're in a specific region, so I don't want you to think this is all of the Buddhist monks. But these particular Buddhist monks in this particular region of Thailand keep getting into trouble for not being very good monks. Because when you think of a monk, it's unfair, but you think of a monk the same way you think of a nun. You think of someone who has dedicated their entire life, their finances, their physical self, their spiritual well-being to the cause of whatever religion or philosophy that they've taken up, right? And that doesn't make them perfect, you know? But it does make them seem like someone who is going to be holy or be grounded, you know, whatever the thing is, right? And these monks are pretty rock and roll. These monks are going ham, okay? These monks are having such wild scandals. Like there was one temple, right, where all the monks in that temple got busted by the police for doing meth, right? And it's hard to conceptualize a methy monk, right? Because you usually think of them as calm and still, but you can't be on meth. You know, I've never seen someone do meth and then calm down, right? That's not part of it, you know. I can only imagine what that one monk who did the meth first must have told the others. You know, does a little meth and it's like, y'all, if we do this, we ain't got to do all that sitting. Like this is about to hit, okay? You know? There was another scandal where there were some monks who basically, I say got in trouble, I think they got arrested for stealing millions of dollars in donations from people who were basically donating to, I guess, the monastery, but just generally the same way you donate to like any church or anything like that. And that one baffled me because I thought one of the whole principles of Buddhism was like, guys, I don't need anything. Like, it's me trying to better myself, trying to get better, trying to get to the next level and everything. So to give the monks millions of dollars is asking for trouble. Like, you know what I mean? To give the monks a rapper level of money and then not expect them to live that rapper lifestyle feels like an unnecessary temptation, okay? You know, like I'm pretty low key, but if you gave me around $8 million, I might go a little wild for a day or two. You know what I mean? And it's tough. It's tough when you're a monk and then you try balling out because you in the same clothes. Do you know what I mean? Like when you roll up to a strip club, everybody know you're not supposed to be there. Like you throwing it up and making it rain, and then everybody's like, where's it even coming from? Does the robe have pockets? You know? There have even been some monks that got in trouble for straight up violence, right? Which is terrible and terrifying. But I will say, as a monk, if somebody messing with you, you do kind of have the element of surprise. Because they're sure nothing's gonna happen, right? Like you just poking a monk and poking a monk and poking a monk, and then they just hit you with that bladao. You know? And I guess it's just wild that for such I'll call it a religion or a lifestyle just for the sake of the argument, but like for such a calm, peaceful, to yourself religion of bringing yourself to the best level that you can, building an understanding of yourself and the people around you, and trying to spread good in the world. It's wild to me that this section of Buddhist monks in Thailand, all they really need is Jules LeBron to teach them how to be demure, to teach them how to be mindful. You know what I mean? You imagine that? You imagine this. There's a monk that's just throwing out money at the strip club and everything, and then Jules is like, not demure, not mindful.
When I